Welcome, bienvenue, and welcome everybody. This is of course the Klassie Kafe, the show that takes the news, soaks it in the sun, and makes a groovy lemon pie, metaphorically speaking. My guest today is, he's easily described as being the goat, so named because he eats a lot of plant life and tends to headbutt people. Some people take salad very seriously. No, he's been a champion up and down the country. There are so many things I could say about him. He's been the head trainer here at Aspire for many, many years. Truly, if there was ever the word legend, it would describe my guest today. He is the malicious Paul Malen. Thank you for joining us, Paul.
Thank you for that that intro right there. That has to be one of the... it's very different. It was good though, I appreciate that, thank you.
You've known me for several years now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Throwing cheap shots, has gone into business for himself. Anyway.
There are so many great moments in wrestling, not only being in the ring and competing with all these great different people, but also the kind of comradeship that comes with that. I mean, we had literally finished training and gone out to lunch that afternoon, and little did we know that I was going to go head over heels into an escalator.
Didn't have that camera,
but it's one of those silly things that you do as a group, and you've been here from the start. I mean, the kind of friendships you've made since you've been here, you know, what kinds of, do you look back on that as being an enriching experience?
Absolutely. I mean, I haven't been here from the very start. A couple of months in maybe, but I've seen a lot of people come, seen a lot of people go, and in that time you do create bonds, you do forge friendships, and these, to this day now, the best friendships I've made are absolutely right here. And the ones I'm hoping, fingers crossed, will last a very, very long time. And it's inspiring to be working with everybody here, to not only see them work and want to strive and succeed, it makes me want to work just as hard to be able to get to that level also.
I mean, and of course you were responsible for training most of us, and that's an enormous debt that we really can't repay. But one of the people that is trying to do that is our good friend Main Event Muzzy, because he laid out a challenge to you last month.
He did. That was a surprise, and part of me for a second wanted to say no and to refuse.
Why?
Maybe a sense of self-doubt and lack of self-confidence on myself. But also at the same time a case of being, I really like Muzzy, so I don't want to have to go to the means that I will have to do in order to win, because Muzzy's great, Muzzy's lovely, and he's been very, very vocal in saying that he's really looking forward to this match, which I am too. But at the same time, I think he has to take this seriously, and he has to realise that if he wants to do this, then he is not going to be looking across the ring at a friend. He's looking across the ring at somebody that wants to take what he has, and that is the No Limits Championship. So if anything, I hope he watches this, and I hope he realises that yes, this is going to be great. This is the biggest match of his career this far, and I'm treating it like it is the biggest match of mine also.
I mean, you've been around for so long and travelled so many different countries, wrestled up and down the UK and had championships pretty much everywhere you've been. I mean, and you've had to go to some extreme lengths to win some of those titles. Can you give us an idea of what was training like for you when you first started?
Well, so this year, this September marked 19 years that I've been doing this, and that's not even including my training years. My training years was 2003. That's even longer. Training for me, there were no local training schools, so it wasn't as easy as walking down the road to find somewhere like this. It would be a 2-hour train journey all the way to Kent. Nottingham to Kent was a long journey to do every week. And when you would get there, you would be tested. Tested in the sense of seeing if you wanted to stick around, if you wanted to stay, if you really wanted to do this. I have no doubts that what I was subjected to then, the training I was subjected to then, you cannot do now. Because it is classed as a form of bullying, which I strongly disagree with, because I do believe that now sometimes some things like that need to be around to make people realise how hard wrestling is. You know how hard wrestling is, and you come from a background when you did other things before coming here as well.
Yeah.
It really does need to be pointed out that wrestling just is simply one of the toughest forms of sports, entertainment, exercise you will do, because there is no off season. It hurts. Injuries, you either work through them or you take time off, but when you take time off, there is somebody else waiting to jump right back into your spot, and that is exactly the mindset I had for many, many years. Training for me, again, I started with 5 friends, and at the end of it, there was 1 friend, that was me. The rest of them stopped. Either when they realised it was too hard, or they realised there was no money in it. And here I am, 19 years later, still doing it.
I mean, I remember you actually telling me that the first time you'd gone down to that centre, there was quite a lot of you, and within a week, there was maybe a handful left because they just couldn't hack it.
Yeah.
And you know, when you see young people coming into Aspire now and the way that we train people here, I mean, it is different, but
Absolutely.
you definitely do see people come and go. And
Yeah.
how do you get around that? How do you work your way and say, okay, we can't do it like it used to be done, but we do need to, you know, make people aware. We are going to test you now and again, and we are going to make you push your limits a little bit. You know, how do you gauge those things in your mind?
I think it's a case of not wanting to test people just for the sake of it. To say, okay, I don't want this person here, so we're going to get rid of them by any means necessary. It's seeing the potential that somebody has, somebody that lacks the confidence to do something, and challenging them to better themselves. That's why I go into every training session. That is my mindset for every training session. And I love it when new people come in, and the first thing, there's been the occasion when somebody's come to me and I've said, this is really great, but you just need a little bit more self-confidence. And somebody says, but I don't have self-confidence. I turn to them and I say, you will do. At the end of this, you will do. And for me, it's the day and age we're in now. There's a lot of people suffering with some kind of mental health disorder.
Yeah.
There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of people out there that just lack self-confidence. And like I was talking about earlier, maybe not wanting to accept this match because of my own self-confidence issues. It really, really, really does need enforcing that we need to give back to this, we need to help people. And with the Aspire Wrestling Alliance, I'm really proud to say that is something that we definitely do on a daily basis.
I mean, actually a huge, I have to thank for this really, the opportunity to teach people, I think was a huge confidence boost for me, but that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't put me in that position. And it might seem strange to people, but honestly, it's that thing of, you don't know you can do it until somebody says, no, you can. Just get out there and do it.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of that maybe that happens. Certainly Muzzy was telling us while he was here that, you know, you kind of had to push him a little bit. And you need to stick to this and you need to keep going with it. And look at where he is now. 2-time New Olympics champion.
2-time New Olympics champion. And the thing is, pointing out yourself as well, like you said, for coaching and stuff, it's a natural progression because of your history with American football, your history with judo and stuff, and coaching judo as well. It makes sense for you to be able to be in there and show people the starting basics, giving back to this place. Like we have now with the Aspire Wrestling Academy, the youngsters, 2 main coaches for that class, Eddie Cross, who started out in the kids class. I can't remember how old he was, but he was like down here and now he's up here. And the Aspire Wrestling champion, Eden, again, both wanting to give back. And since they have started coaching, that class has grown immensely.
Yeah.
And it's just so great to see. It's so great for me to just stand at the side now and jump in if I need to. But if I do not need to, just to be able to watch everybody give back to it. And that's the whole thing. I keep saying that, give back. Not enough people give back. Too many people take. Now's the time to give all the way back to this here.
Yeah. Now this is where I have to circle back a little bit to, you know, this match coming up with Muzzy because you have been kind of taking a little bit of a sabbatical and focusing more on coaching and things, but you are at the end of the day still a competitor. So, and you haven't been in the ring as often.
No.
Does that weigh on your mind at all going into this match?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things, like the last match I had at Aspire was against Mayhem. And openly, admittedly, I should not have been in the ring that night. Bitter pill to swallow, but I knew when I was in there, something does not feel right. I should not be in here now. And I lost. And it was met with silence. I don't think the audience are used to seeing me lose. And it happens sometimes. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But that was an eye-opener for me. And now, destined for glory, getting back into the ring with Muzzy, I don't plan on losing. I don't plan on feeling that again.
Yeah. Do you think, is it that thing of you're ever going to hanging up, or you just like, no, I'm going to keep going as long as I can? Where are you mentally at the minute with a lot of this stuff?
That's a good question. I've never thought about hanging them up. I've just thought about kind of cowering in the corner and running away and never wanting to put my gear on again. It is always in the back of my mind that I would like to wrestle, but again, it is that confidence of, wow, everybody's so great now, and here I am kind of just like treading water. And there's no worse feeling. For anybody out there that's felt anything like that in any walk of life, there is nothing worse. But for me now, thinking on this opportunity I have the opportunity at Destined for Glory to turn all of this around and turn a negative into a positive. In one night, I can take every mental health issue, every self-confidence issue I have and channel it and go from a zero to a hero, so to speak, by taking the No Limits Championship and hopefully ushering that into a new era. Like Muzzy pointed out, he wants to put the No Limits Championship back on the pedestal that it deserves to be on. And I would love that opportunity to be a part of that as well.
So, final word. Paul Malen walking out of Destined for Glory on November 16th as the No Limits Champion. Are we going to see it? Is it going to happen?
I don't like making promises that I can't keep, but I will promise you this. When you see me in the ring, I will give every ounce of me. I will do the best to my ability to bring home the No Limits Championship. 100%.
Okay, well, Paul, thank you for joining me here today, and I'll no doubt catch up with you again at some point, but until then, folks, remember Destined for Glory is November 16th. We will see main event Muzzy and the malicious Paul Malen face off for the No Limits Championship. But until then, of course, if we shadows have offended, think about this and all is mended, that you did but slumber here, while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme no more yielding but a dream. Stay classy.